A very special thank you to everybody who tunes in to the Justin Podcast. And I also want to give a special thanks to all my sponsors.
Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Yesterday, Cliff Sora shared a top 10 list of hot fusion restaurants, a vegan gluten-free mashup recipe, and a podcast featuring organic food trends. Oh, TMI, too much internet information. That's oversharing. Cliff, Geico has something worth sharing with your friends. Like how on Geico.com you could save hundreds on your car insurance, update your policy, and report a claim. Gluten-free info that's easy to swallow. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
He's considered to be the greatest announcer in XTV history. And now, Justin Turkeyleg brings his famous voice along with his awesome friends to the podcast world. This is Justin's Podcast.
Welcome everybody to a special edition of Justin's Podcast. I am Ernest Justin Turkeyleg. And I got a great show for y'all today. The first time ever XTV is expanding, beyond its own horizons, and we have none other than JNW Boss as the special guest here today. I mean, look, it's been a while, I think, since I put up a podcast. I think my last podcast was with Beast, and what a heck of a way to come back. We had a great conversation, talked for about close to 2 hours actually, and you're gonna get the whole thing right here. I don't usually make podcasts this long. I try to keep them around an hour or so, but we was going in about some real good stuff. He's a big fan of NXTV, and I was able to tell him a few things about XTV World. And just a little bit of insider's look, at XTV, because I mean let's face it. I mean, this is a very vast group of individuals. It has a tremendous past. Sorry about all that rattling in the background. It's gonna be done in just a second. But yeah, I mean, XTV is crazy, and its future is crazy. When me and JNW talk on that, you're going to hear that in this podcast. A few things on my mind this week. Of course, we just found out that one of the big characters from XTV Westside, who is actually Chris the Nightmare Man, and this guy, he was somebody who we had a whole lot kind of invested in. We was really hoping that he was going to be a big deal for the West Coast. And I remember, it's always great when you see somebody organically become, a shining star. And that's to me what Chris the Nightmare was starting to do. He was a character that was actually originated from like a locked up prison show, like a Scared Straight type of deal. And this was one of the guys. He was a prison inmate, and he had all these promos he was cutting. We was actually seeing this guy cut promos right before us. We were seeing him grow, week after week in his promos, and he had a whole lot of build up, because right now, the stars of NXTV Westside are building themselves up in anticipation for the first NXTV Westside event. And as far as the East Coast, the world hasn't seen them yet, but the West Side has a lot of potential in making some actually marquee stars in the future. But unfortunately, we learned that Chris the Nightmare Man has passed away, and our thoughts and prayers go out to his family. The real Chris the Nightmare Man, which of course in XTV we don't use people who have passed away. That's just, we try to respect the dead, and that's why you don't see no legends. You probably used to see back in the day, like that Davey Boy Smith from SmackDown vs. Raw 6. But that was just a robot. Bob used to, create all those different robots in his laboratory or whatever. And they would just be running rampant. Who knows? Those things could still be running around somewhere. Davey Boy Smith bot and Hulk Hogan bot and all those bots that Bobby used to make. But you just try to stay away from that, and it's a bit of a kick, kick in the pants for the West Coast because they had a lot of invested in that guy. He was going to be a top guy. And now, in this case, you got to go back to the drawing board. Fortunately for us, and we was talking to some of the guys over there. They was like, well, we're just going to have to do it like y'all did Olivia Perez. And if y'all remember Olivia, she was actually originally a part of Team MVS with Cassidy and Tia Ray and Akira Ray. Speaking of Akira and Tia, just a side note, they are the winners of the NXT Tag Team Title Tournament. The tournament did go down. It did take place, and they legitimately won. We'll have the actual brackets posted up. There was some audio problems, which we was only able to record one match, and they just took it down off of XTV World. It was actually live, but it's actually not going to go up. But it did go down. It was a live event out in Osaka. Akira and Tia kept the tag team titles, and that's how they moving forward. The final match was between them and Jessica B and Brittany Bell. Jessica B and Brittany Bell was actually my odds-on favorite to make it to the finals, along with Tia and Akira. And it played out exactly the way I said it. I was surprised to see the Beverly Sisters go over Baby and Malia. That was crazy, but those two teams is 1-1. It was an episode of NXT Live where Baby and Malia defeated the Beverly Sisters, and here at this tournament, the Beverly Sisters was able to advance, but they didn't get the big piece of chicken at the end, as Tia Ray and Akira prove, and they to me they had already proven that they was a formidable tag team. Anytime somebody challenged them, they stepped up to the plate. And they proved to be ready for anything. And, they got those belts. They earned them. And they're going to be some of the first downloaded. In fact, Miss Martha's going to go ahead and get the Accelerator Pack. Whenever we get back on 2K18, we already got the money to buy it. She's going to get that Accelerator Pack. And Akira and Tia, the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, will be the next downloads for NXT. XTV02 was quite the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's crazy because XTV it's so backwards how it is in XTV. NXTV is the big dog as far as numbers and as far as popularity. You know what I mean? And it's like XTV is just not starting to kind of creep into the scene. Because XTV was never meant to get looked at. It was just amongst us, amongst the East Coast and the West Coast. But Martha decided that she wanted to expand it out to the world. Why not? And she's right. Why not? You know what I'm saying? People should see this. People should experience what we experience. Maybe it'll help them take a load off. And I feel like the XTV World pay-per-view, although it had its little spots that I personally was just like, production-wise, man, I wish we can go back and fix that. But at least it didn't turn out like XTV01 in the sense that it had music playing during matches and stuff, and then like during the main event, especially Nicki Minaj versus Foxy Hot, there was music playing in the beginning. And then even during the AJ Styles versus Millennium match in the beginning, for some reason they exported that way. And that's why you see Nicki Minaj versus Foxy Hot. You just see that matchup uploaded on XTV World. And it goes to show you the draw that Nicki Minaj is. People are still, after it's only been up for 3 days, and people are still clicking on it. You know what I'm saying? And trying to see what's going on with Nicki Minaj and Foxy. It's actually one of the higher ranked videos on XTV World right now. And at this show, XTV02, we learned that there will be a Nicki Minaj versus Josie 3. And it's just in time for XTV03. So of course we don't know, but it's looking like that's going to be the main event for that show. Nicki Minaj versus Josie 3. A lot of people think that, Yozi's not going to win, but a lot of people seem to be overlooking the momentum that Yosi has. And, I mean, if you looked at XTVO2, I mean, that performance with her and Jordan was crazy. And, I was talking to, guys from the West Coast, and, I think Big Trunks was like, man, that matchup, he was like, the match between Jordan and Yosi was so crazy that he didn't even realize who won. And I was like, yeah, man. That was quite the matchup. I think they went about 10 to 12 minutes, and just from the jump it was fast paced. Yosi really took her to town, took her to task, and she pulled out everything in her arsenal. She showed everybody, what she's all about, who she is, and that she is not there to play. And yeah, Jordan Strong, you young, you hot, and you got it going on, but hold on. This is my last run, and I'm going out with a bang. And Nicki Minaj, I'm coming for your head. That's, to me, the message that I got from Yosi that night at XTVO2. Incredible. I sat there at ringside for this stuff, man. Hell in a Cell match. That thing was massive. And I don't think that on 2K17, correct me if I'm wrong, let me know. Sit on Facebook or write it in the comments. But I don't think that it was meant to be thrown off the cell, unless you have to be like an athlete that's equipped with, you have to equip yourself to be able to use objects like, the steel guardrail or the actual cell or certain things like that. Maybe that's something that you have to equip your star with. But, we had a 6-pack challenge. An Armageddon style Hell in a Cell matchup, star-studded. Walter, Tavares, Blood, Millennium, Yaki, and one more person I'm forgetting. Forgive me. Okay, I can't remember who I didn't say, but it was 6 guys, and it was crazy, man. And nobody left outside of the cell. It looked like nobody was even attempting to go outside of the cell, which is cool. Everybody got their business done within the confines of the cell. And man, I mean, to me, this was the match that stole the show. Like, to me, I mean, that 6-man match was insane. I'm gonna go back and watch it later on tonight, because I felt like the overall show just had such a great feel. It was a party going on all night, a whole lot of different funny things going on backstage. I feel like all the stars of the XTV East Coast made an appearance, and they made themselves known. I feel like they got their personality over, and it was just a blast. Just seeing everybody with their costumes and all the different fights that was taking place backstage. Me and JJ, as Hulk Hogan and Big Boss Man. Real good stuff. And then, of course, the main event. Conor McGregor going one-on-one up against Bob Classic. Heavily promoted match between these two. Of course, we saw the conference that was uploaded perhaps maybe a week or two prior. And then on this actual card, there was a little mini press conference with the paparazzi and, different people asking final questions right before the matchup here tonight, or on the card, actually. And, so we actually got to see them face off, before the actual matchup, which was a very interesting face-off. And, putting these two together, the idea was, Bob Classic talks so much trash. He's such a big mouth. And, it's like, Bob is right. He said, yeah, we have a hard time finding people to fight Bob because he's a big star. So it's like, who's on his level, and he's that good. But of course he's he's sort of worked himself into a shoot, seeing as he won't be on TV for at least 3 months. Putting his hands on all these different officials and different things like that. Him along with the Killer, their ways have got them set up for a 3-month hiatus. And this was the last time that we're going to see Bob Classic for 3 months, according to Miss Martha. He did go over Conor McGregor, finished him off with the Dragon Sleeper. Controversial matchup, to say the least. Lots of funky. To me, it was a lot of funky stuff going on. You know, Conor coming in at the beginning, the ref wanting to throw the match out. Then it's like, no, we're not gonna throw out our main event. Are you crazy? This is what we came for. Let's get this going. And then there was the match got reset again because Bob hit McGregor with the steel steps, and we go into each and every year, each 2K series, we go into it thinking, okay, I guess basically overall the general rules are the same, and so when I watched a submission match, I think it was let's take the submission match with Steve Austin and Brett. I'm not sure if they used weapons. I'll have to go back and look, but it was a submission match, meaning that you have to win by submission. So if somebody hits you with a foreign object, it's legal. It's perfectly legal because the only way this matchup ends is not by disqualifications, not by countouts, it's by submission. And I'm pretty sure that all games of years past were based on that idea. And so that's why I found it rational that the match got restarted. But to turn it into no holds barred. And then it's like, now it's not a submission match no more, to change the concept of what the main event was supposed to be, on the fly like that. It to me was in poor taste. To me, it makes Bob's classic win over Conor McGregor have a asterisk next to it. Bob would probably argue that Conor McGregor's steel cage match victory over him would have an asterisk next to it, seeing as McGregor didn't pin Bob, but he climbed over the cage. Rules are rules, Bob. It is what it is. That's what led to this matchup at XTV02. And, so Bob's got one over McGregor. McGregor's got one over Bob. A lot of people saying McGregor might not come back because of, the way Bob did business. Other people are saying, it's all good. And, work is work, business is business. I personally don't know. I would like to see them go at it again. But again, like what I said, Bob is off TV for like 3 months. So, and, in that time, it gives time to see, will there be somebody else rise up and take that spot? Yaki Naji really highlighted himself in that Hell in a Cell match. Really, all those guys did, though, to be honest. Also, Blood is out with an injury. He suffered an injury in that matchup. And it seems like at all the XTV pay-per-views, at least the last two, he was injured against Bob in that Falls Count Anywhere match where he was victorious. And now he was injured in this Hell in a Cell match. And, you could probably attribute it to the fact that he's in these, gimmick up matches, Falls Count Anywhere. I mean, you bound to get hurt. Hell in a Cell match, you bound to get hurt. But, maybe the rationale is that with somebody the size of Blood, that's just proven to just be, so dominant and unstoppable. I guess you gotta kind of have to do something like that. Bob wanted him in the Iron Man match. He wanted him 1-on-1. I was game for it, but again, Bob, hey man, you got yourself in this situation. So that's enough of me yakking, ladies and gentlemen. I done went doggone 18 minutes already. I'm sorry. But, a lot of things going on in XTV. And, of course, on the other side of this break, we have none other than JNW Boss, ladies and gentlemen. A super cool guy. Had a whole lot of fun on this podcast. I think you'll be able to pick that up. And let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. On the other side of this break, stay with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to take this time to tell you about Doorstep Delivery and how they've now become joined with Bite Squad. Go online and order now. Take a look at all of the different locations where, they'll pick up food and actually bring it to your doorstep. all in one, swoop. You don't have to leave the house. You just go online, and I think even McDonald's is a part of this thing. But don't quote me on that. All I'm trying to do is encourage you to go online to doorstepdelivery.com if you don't want to leave the house and you want to enjoy your weekend and chill. Stay at home, avoid that hot sun, avoid the hustle and bustle of traffic and everything else. You know what I mean? You can just sit back, pay online via credit card, and in a few short minutes, you will have delicious food at your doorstep of your choice. See select details at doorstepdelivery.com. Anything else, RG? Well, that's doorstepdelivery.com. I'd give me a bite right now, but I might get sleepy.
Want to rekindle that flame with the missus? Repeat after me. Honey, I'm going to stock up on motor oil.
Oh, yeah.
Because 5 quarts of Castrol Conventional and a Napa Silver Filter are just $21.99. Trust us, it works. And if it doesn't, which it may not, okay, it won't. $21.99 is still a great deal on oil. Conquer the job with Napa Know-How. General states pricing. Sale prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 2/28/15.
Okay, we set, man. So, you were saying, you were saying that AOA took off, kind of unexpectedly. When you first got started with it?
I think I started back in. Honestly, the origins of it goes all the way back to WWE 2K16, but
okay.
I kept it going for a couple. I had it going for a couple of months, but then after that, I kind of just dropped the whole concept because at that point, at that time, the game didn't really give you anything to work with.
Right.
The game didn't really give you anything to work with as far as to make it your own. Yes, they had it created an arena. Yes, they had created a championship and all that, but they didn't really give you the whole cutscene options and stuff like that to really work with.
Right.
So eventually, I kind of just let it just die off slowly and taught myself going into 17, which started early January, I want to say, mid-January of this year.
Okay.
That, I told myself I was going to go, no pun intended, I was going to go all out for this thing.
True.
And I think really ever since then, I just kept doing what I need to do to make it look good, make it sound good. Yeah, of course, it took me a minute to get used to everything, but after that, it was taking off at that point.
Yeah, man. I noticed, your numbers every week. It's within a few moments of your uploads, they already getting hits, man. Eyes are definitely on AOA.
Thank you. Yeah, I definitely feel that there's only one place we can go, and that's up, really.
Absolutely.
And now, of course, now we got, the combination of True and myself on commentary. And yeah, we do have, good chemistry. We got a couple of things we can work on here and there because we're still trying to get used to it, getting into the swing of things. Other than that, it's
Yeah, that's, what's your partner's name?
True Pain X.
True Pain X, that's right. I had subscribed to him recently. I sent him a message on on the last video that he put on there. I told him that I like his smart comments. See, he got a little crush on Angelina over there.
Yeah, he's still trying, still working at it though.
That's a very interesting concept. But even you, JNW, I typed in, your name, just to see, so I just try to keep up with you, see what you got, what's the latest thing going on. I see that you got Z Ice going in a career mode, which was quite the shocker to me. I had to see, and I'm only in the middle of it, but man, I wanted to prepare some notes for you. I know that I was going to be getting with you today, and what was the concept behind putting Z Ice in the career mode for 2K18?
I know that probably blew everyone's mind who
That's crazy.
Who got the notification and saw that pop up. But honestly, I didn't know. I wanted to do something. I had a couple of things popping around in my head when I wanted to do this whole thing. I was thinking, have it be Alexander Spike's brother. Because a few years ago, when I brought Nate Shields in, I brought up the fact that him and Alexander Spike, who I knew from my 2K15 my career, had a little bit of history due to the fact that him and that Shields and like brother were good friends. So I wanted to do something like that, but I'm like, nah. But and I also wanted to kind of continue with Shield since 2K17. He didn't really have, all that, good of a career. Only mainly just staying in the tag team division. Just constantly just stuck there with a New Day, and all that.
Yeah.
And so for this, I said, forget it. Let's do something cool. I noticed how people actually like the D-Ice character.
Yeah.
So I decided, why not? Let's take the D-Ice character and put him in the ring. Let's have him kind of, roll with punches and see what happens. And so far, people are liking it so far. What I see.
Yeah, the ongoing commentary in each and every situation. He apparently has issues with Baron Blade. Baron Blade is just so he's so easy to dislike.
I don't know why he keeps popping up. Like, I seriously don't know why he keeps popping up. Like, and seriously, D.I., the reason D.I. don't really like him, I'll tell you what D.I. doesn't really like him. He heard words from Spike and he heard words from Shield that, if you can, he told, certain people, he told certain superstars, like, they asked him to help him out, to help him train, because he was thinking about getting in the ring. Now, people, of course, at first were looking at him like, wait, what? Someone like you, why would you want to get into the ring?
Exactly.
And they explained it, so they were willing to help him out. And the way ran through Baron Blade was like, when they actually kind of getting all the staff together, Baron Blade was someone that actually approached him and was like, hey, I heard you've been looking for someone to help you with production. Would you mind if I help you? Mm-hmm. And then immediately the look on everybody's face that was around the act at the time was like, don't. Yeah, that's why he doesn't really have a fond relationship with Baron Blade. Oh, we live? We live right now?
No, we're not live. This will be uploaded a little bit later on, actually, on the XTV East Coast.
I good enough. That's good.
Yeah. The podcast is not live. I never did a live podcast. That'll definitely be something.
It is possible, though. It is possible, though.
Yeah.
Through the same software. Yeah, through the same software. And I've used this to go live before.
That would be cool.
Same software you can do, create live event, set it up, and then it'll take you straight to here.
Oh, okay.
And all you have to do is just click live.
I got you.
Okay.
Well, I definitely, want to have you coming back because it's AOA's got such the future, which we're gonna get into a little bit later on. People here on XTV, it's a huge buzz about this mingling deal between AOA and NXTV. That's the hottest conversation.
That I say. Personally, like the way I look at this, I think I look at this as a way for. Cause I've been noticing NXT myself. I've been noticing, NXT and XTV, and just watch them do their thing. Cause I ran into them on social media. And it was, I was impressed. I was like almost instantly, impressed with what I saw. So I got in touch with Terry, and he told me, okay, this is where we're located. I'm like, okay, fine, cool. So I started checking them out, and I was impressed. I'm actually surprised, honestly, that NXTV haven't really gotten the attention that it should, because this is like the talent spectrum, the overall quality, the production, and the love that this show has, and of course, of course, the in-ring action itself is just. It's crazy to me how NXT Live haven't really gotten up there, but as far as these two shows come together, I think this is definitely a great chance for us, for two smaller shows that may be lesser known to people to come together and just do something fun. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
just
absolutely.
Come together and do something fun, entertain everyone that's not going to be watching from wherever they are.
Yep.
So.
Well, it's crazy, man. I don't know if you check the analytics for AOA, but we checking them every single week. We like We like the Monday Night Wars, how they was checking the ratings crazy. That's how we check our analytics, man. And we take a look around, and NXTV, although it's very small, eyes are on it from people all over the world. Germany, New Zealand. I mean, the UK. I mean, so I can only imagine. How far AOA is even reaching.
To that, I think really both shows, and I think this is part of the reason why I'm really glad that AOA and NXT are able to come together. Because I think both shows really got potential to do something huge.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying? With the talent and just everything that goes in to making both of these shows, it's just it's going to be great to see where both of these shows go from here forward.
Well, it's been a very organic thing, the way AOA and XTV has come together, and our first look at a AOA character was back at that XTV fresh start when we first seen Nate Shields appear in an XTV ring, and of course, the next step. I got to tell you about that JNW because. That was a surprise to us too. We went we went into the career mode, and what do you know? Who is Kareem's opponent for his first night on Raw? None other than AOA's on Nate Shields. So that was just crazy to us. I mean, how was that on your end?
I think that was like the second I heard about it, I'm like, wait, what, for real?
Yes.
And then then it was like released. I'm like, just wow, And I think to me personally, this really kind of planted the seeds for what ended up coming down the road. Because if you really think about it, Nate Shields' arrival, just on XTV Raw, I believe the program was called.
That's right.
But like it was on XTV Raw, and that really kind of maybe helped set things in motion for where things were going, in the future now with King Kong and Dwayne Frost and Shields all being a part of the NWN.
Yeah, that was like, a lot of thought went into that, and putting those three together, because if you remember, back when you had uploaded Dwayne Frost and you uploaded a few others to the PlayStation, we had trouble. Remember, we told you that we couldn't download them because of because we had to beat the career mode. The career mode kept on well, not the career mode, but the showcase.
The Hall of Fame showcase.
The Hall of Fame showcase. We had trouble beating that, and then for some reason, out of nowhere, one day somebody had pressed something and just it said download all, and we just got everything, and that's when we went back to downloads, and we was able to get Frost and Shields, and we was like, oh my God, like what a get. And then, but you had other guys up there. What's the guy? No Potential. What's his name?
Jason Wells.
Jason Wells, and it's like, we knew that we was gonna use Shields, to be with the NWN because he had that history. But the third guy was in question. We was like, I mean, we didn't want to necessarily make it Frost, which leads me to my next question. I mean, was Frost a babyface?
Yes, actually, the direction I was planning on going with Frost, because if you see, going into his match with Ross at Onslaught, which was about a few days ago, going into a match with Onslaught against Wallace. Yes, he was a face, and that between them that started several weeks back whenever we were doing the tournament to crown the first ever All-Star champion, which Wallace got his victory by count out. So ever since then, Frost was kind of hot on the heels of Wallace, but what ended up happening at Dallas, at NXT Dallas, I would like to be the first one to say that was a phenomenal show, by the way. So hats off to them. Hats off to you guys for producing a show like that. That was phenomenal. And some of my friends, I've shared it with some of my friends, they enjoyed it too.
Well, that's awesome.
But yeah, Frost was initially a babyface.
Yeah, we was kind of
what happened at Dallas and due to the finish of his match with Ross at also, I think we were able to do a good job and kind of work around that. Here we go.
Yeah, I want to talk about that, in a bit as well. But I mean, just to finish off with Frost, yeah, you know, and that's why we was going to use that no potential guy. I don't know if you remember the NWO, but he was going to be sort of like a Vincent angle, you know, just the other guy out there. You know what I mean? Because I mean, according to his character on screen, I mean, like, what is that no potential gimmick? I mean, what does that mean?
I think really the whole thing about him the no potential thing is that basically he wears that to kind of it's a way to kind of he gets into opponent's head. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And of course, you know, he's sitting there making out the way down the ring. He's all cocky and arrogant, but of course, his opponent may actually, you know, they're going to see what he's wearing. They're going to see the no potential thing and the whole thing of that's what he feels his opponent has whenever he steps into the ring.
Okay, so it's a shot.
That's why his finisher is also with that same name, no potential.
I got you. See, that makes sense. But when I first seen his shirt, I thought that he was saying that he didn't have no potential. I'm like, okay, so he's a jobber. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was a job guy. But you know, I seen some of his matches, and I'm like, he don't fight like a job guy.
Sure, apparently I didn't. I thought I switched the shirt to like no potential. That's what you got. I thought I switched the shirt to something like that, and apparently I haven't. So that's definitely something to keep in mind going into the future.
Well, of course, this time, you know, he was more specific this time when he had the no potential Max Wolf, you know, back at Onslaught. Mm-hmm. So you know, it made sense. But you know, that's just what I thought. You know, when I had seen the no potential, and you know, we was just like, nah. You know, Frost just got that look, man. He just looked so tough and so mean and like a vicious guy. You know, and same thing with Nate Shields. And you know, I saw some gameplay with on the UFC with Nate Shields. Of course, he didn't come out victorious in that match. But I mean, you know, what's his background?
I think Shields, as far as the background, he's a wrestler. You know, he's a wrestler, so he's more of the guy to kind of ground and pound you. But yeah, he got no problem standing as well. You know, he got no problem in standing in the department as well. And so I think it was around after his venture in WWE the first time around. I was about I think it was like 16 or 17. He kind of started to train a bit, started to train himself up a bit. And he decided to take on the UFC, and if I'm correct, I believe he was successful with. Unfortunately, I have no footage of it, but like he was actually one of the UFC heavyweight champions.
Oh wow!
Two times. I think it was about 2 times former UFC heavyweight champion. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage of that.
Yeah, it happens, but it went down though. It happened in history. The same thing happens on XTV. You know, some like classic things go down, and it's just like you wish you had some kind of recording of it, but you know, it just went down in history. You know, but yeah, he's a heck of a in-ring competitor. I mean, I saw his match with Brock Lesnar. I think that was on an AOA episode, and that was when I really first noticed Nate Shields, and like I'm like, man, for a big dude, like he moved real nice, and you know, he got like a real nice moveset, you know.
It's crazy. It's crazy because like you wouldn't expect a guy who's 6'6", 286, you know, to not only have moved as fast as he does, but you know the fact that he's able to hang in there with Brock, who's a former UFC heavyweight, you know, is obviously he's a former UFC heavyweight champion himself,
of course.
And I'll say both of those guys, they really took each other to the limit in that match. Now, Shields came out on top in the end, but you know you can honestly say if that match would have maybe went a little bit longer, if you know maybe Brock probably would have came out on top of that. And if I may add something, I've kind of noticed something myself as well with Shields. Whenever anyone who really stepping inside the ring with him, you're going to be in for a rough night. I mean, Brock, that's the example that you made. And then Destry, you know, a former AOA world champion.
Yeah.
Whenever he was brought in for one night, him and Nate Shields had a war that night.
2 big guys, man. Destry is huge. I typed that the other day when I was telling you about the show. I'm like, man, I just realized how huge Destry is. That's a big dude.
Yeah, I think the guy he's a guy that had a lot of upside. You know what I'm saying? I think he was someone that I got from. He was someone that I got from one of a good online friend of mine, Super Kick the Game, man.
Oh, he was downloaded.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. The guy that was downloaded.
Gotcha.
Off of Super Kick Gaming, and
Gotta check him out.
He used to work for NBW, so I remember I would chit chat with him, and he said, "Hey, Joe, you can bring Destry in, for one of the shows." I'm like, okay, cool. So, yeah, but then I saw Destry, got a good look at him over in NBW, and then, like, Super Kick himself, he was, like, impressed with how Destry was being used and stuff. He was like, yo, feel free, you can go for the taking at this point.
I got you. Well, I mean, he got the championship. Yeah, man. He earned the championship. Too bad. He had a long night at Onslaught, which is just what I want to talk about. And about Onslaught, great show. I've played it a few times already myself. It's just an incredible show. What I really like about it is the booking order. I mean, genius, because going into that, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, there's going to be a 30-minute Iron Man match for the United States Championship, and there's going to be a heavyweight title match. How is this going to play out? And, it was awesome seeing the heavyweight championship starting things off with a great start. Who we had? We had Destry going one-on-one against... Who was
Austin Kazarian.
Against Kazarian, yeah, that's an interesting character as well. I mean, is he downloaded or is he original?
I would say yes. He's downloaded as well.
Okay.
And I'm actually talking to the owner, so I will be having him back for 18, which is great. So
yes,
I can definitely really continue with him and maybe see what I can do with him, and I can really continue to see what I can do with him, and of course, eventually come to a closing with the rivalry with him and Morgan. Because him and Morgan, they've been butting heads since day one, like all the way back in episode 1.
Kazarian and Morgan, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. But crazy matchup here. Great opener. Destry coming out. What did we see a heel turn at Onslaught with Destry? What was going on?
That's the one thing I was thinking about. I'm sitting thinking to myself, what I was doing. I'm sitting thinking to myself, okay, because granted, you did have Kazarian who introduced, some of the stuff into the match. So of course, Destry went out of his way to use himself. But then again, you also have, Destry with the content shot with the World Championship. So honestly, that one is is up in the air. Personally, it's up in the air at this point.
Wow.
We could potentially have a heel turn with Destry in our hands, but then again, he may have just really only did what he did to adapt to what Kazarian was trying to do. Destry's the type of guy that you're gonna come at him,
okay,
with weapons and stuff. He got no shame.
Okay.
Using it against you because he wasn't the one that brought it out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
yeah. It's just interesting, hearing the commentary, and I heard you say, well, Destry did say he was, going to defend that championship with honor, but I guess, when he pulled the weapons out, gloves was off, and forget about all that honor.
Went out. Honor went out the window on that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now I'm pretty sure he probably had his eyes set on the NWA, because they basically.
Wow. Yeah. Exactly.
Can't call him jail. They basically just made his life
miserable, terrible. Man, what a long night. Lose the championship, get jumped. It's crazy.
They basically got set up just to, and when he lost the championship, it was basically set up. The Shield kind of just left him laying. Shield kind of just left him laying, and of course that just allowed, Monster to return after a couple of weeks, gone. I guess probably suffering from the loss, or maybe just thinking about when would be the perfect time.
That's what I thought.
To come back.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, and I was a little upset about that. I mean, here's a perfect opportunity for a 24/7 rule. I mean, these guys got to be hungry. I was surprised that more guys didn't take full advantage. I thought we was gonna be seeing guys in the middle of the night, trying to get some sleep being covered with a sneaky 1, 2, 3 by the ref.
Yeah.
All kinds of things.
I'm going to admit, I personally feel like, I dropped the ball on that. And it's like, it was a perfect opportunity,
Absolutely.
to do something really good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To do something, really good with that, but I felt I dropped the ball on that. So I'm kind of disappointed in myself about that. I really could have maybe had this happen or things like that. And especially Onslaught, seeing that Onslaught was the last night to for anyone to win the championship. So
which makes Monster a genius. It makes Monster a genius in this whole equation. He's like, okay, I lost the championship. There's this 24-hour rule. Why should I have everybody hunting my head? I'll just bide my time. Wait till Onslaught, and then and just look at how it played out. King Kong played an integral role by jumping Destry earlier. And then, that led later on to Nate Shields softening him up and then throws him right backstage to the man himself. And, it's just a terrible thing.
Yeah, but you're right, though. I feel like more could have been done with that. More could have been done with that opportunity. Especially since, if you remember, that idea was set up to punish Monster in the first place. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe we could have seen like more superstar getting together and be like, hey, we can take this guy down, like right now. Right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it just didn't happen. So I think next time whenever I go to do something like that, I should really commit to it and go all the way.
Well, that was October, the month leading up to Onslaught, and my idea would be something like make that like an annual thing, like October is the month where the 24/7 rule is invoked, or something like that along them lines, But
at least going from, since it technically started, both. I'm really good about this one because it started after Last Stand. So after Last Stand, all the way up to Onslaught.
Oh, dang. So like 3 months?
So
what was that, 2 or 3 months?
Well, no, it was one. It was like, close to two. Because you had to go through next level, and then Onslaught was the pay-per-view after that. So it started after Last Stand, which was leading into next level, and then next level, which was leading into Onslaught. So it was about 2 months. I really couldn't get more than that.
It's like a season, though. It's opportunity season, and I really like that concept. But next up, we saw young Lee getting jumped backstage, and then we cut to Darren Talton versus Andre Richardson. Of course, he was with Tony Woods. Tarleton, man, I just realized on this night that he was Destry's brother.
True that. Yes, he is.
I didn't know that.
I referenced that. I remember I referenced that whenever he debuted. I don't know if people caught it, but yes, he is. And I definitely probably have something going with those two, and probably also alongside of Wolf and probably James Black as well, who also made a return on that night. I'm probably jumping ahead a bit, so I apologize. But yes, he is. Those two are brothers.
Okay.
So I definitely probably have something going on with them going forward.
I saw that. I saw a little bit of that, and I saw Max Wolf with the they all wore sort of similar gear that night. I'm like, okay, maybe we seeing some sort of a group forming or something like that, some sort of stable. Well, yeah, I figured I'd just keep my eye on that. I figured I'd keep my eye on that. And then we had the interference with Tony Woods, and is that right? Tony Woods coming in and interfering?
Yeah, there was Tony Woods. That's who it was.
And then he had a shirt on that said The Crew.
Yes. If you notice, Woods and Andre, their attires were quite similar. They both had, like the black tank top with the black fan. So there is something kind of brewing there. There's something kind of brewing there. Maybe a potential tag team, or potentially a faction, probably including 2 other people. You know what I'm saying? You see that we have the thing with the whole the NWN going on. So it's like, would it be smart of them to form a faction and group up, or would it just be better for them to stay a tag team? That way, they're kind of not, potential target for the NWA. Because who knows? They may take that as a threat. Oh, y'all gonna group up? No, hold on a second. We're the only group around here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. So okay. A little bit of foreshadowing going on there with that crew shirt.
Potentially, yes.
Maybe. Then we see Nate Shields going in, to the office. And then who was that one guy? He was one half of the time.
That was Seth Byrne. That was Alexander Spike's partner.
I like that team. I think that's a good team, man. I like them. I like them during that tag team tournament.
I think Wolfpack. I'm surprised. I thought Wolfpack was going to be the team that went all the way. Yeah, well, they did. Hold on. They did. I'm surprised they went all the way. But if you notice, the team that they beat was the Asian Persuasion, who was the team that just lost their tag team championship. Due to kind of the fact that they came in there, or Young Lee particularly came in there less than 100%. And honestly, you can say Wolfpack kind of just took advantage of the opportunity. I'm not 100% sure what went down inside that office, but
right.
I guess the opportunity kind of fell right into the laps of Wolfpack there, to become tag team champion, because they've been on the hunt for the tag team championships ever since they lost them. You know what I'm saying? So of course you get a shot at it. You're going to come out there more aggressive. Right. And they did just that. Yeah, they got a little bit underhanded, so maybe we may hear, something from them on the next episode. Maybe why they kind of went a little bit of the underhanded route that they did. But they came out there, they did what they wanted to do. They became tag team champions again. So you're really not for that.
Okay, so how many title reigns have they had already? This is their second?
Did you say?
Oh, is this their second title reign? Wolfpack?
Yeah, this is their second. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I like them. I like the way they work together as a team. I also like Asian Persuasion. I definitely see them. When I saw them, because every time I look at, AOA, I'm always thinking about like potential dream matches for NXT, and I'm like, man, if Manuel and Enziguri teamed against Asian Persuasion, that would be a good match. But even against the new tag team champions, I think that'd be a great tag team contest.
Oh, definitely. I think that's the thing. Honestly, if I could bring this up, I think Manuel, it's kind of unfortunate, what, and I listened to the last podcast, so I'll say it's kind of unfortunate what the mentalities and the things that Bob Classic was saying to end up having guys like Manuel, Ricky Enziguri down in the proving ground. Because those, and I saw them I'm like, man, Manuel got some potential. And, same
both of those guys.
Ricky Enziguri, especially with his match that he had with Ricochet, had the, good Lord, at the Modern Day Classic.
Right.
Both of those guys definitely got some potential. So them in a match against the tag champions, that would really have the potential to really be a great match to the show.
I thought so, man. NXT is still building on its tag team division, and that's why when I look over at AOA, I see that you guys got like some guys that's grouped up, and the tag team competition is real thick over there.
Yeah, it is. I don't think they're getting they're getting pretty different. You only have like if you kind of notice, there's like typically only like a select few. So that's why you start to see guys maybe kind of look over at each other and say, hey, we can make a splash. We can try to make an impact here. We can make a splash. We can really kind of make an impact here in the tag team division.
Yeah, I like it, man. And then now you got the women's division as well, and I'm a huge fan of women's wrestling, particularly, and now when I look at AOA, I only probably been watching them maybe for 3 or 4 months now, maybe, and I've only seen like Trish, Lita, Angelina, and Akira. I mean, is the women's roster thick, or and I only see like one women's match per show. Talk about it, JNW.
Okay, I feel that. Yes, I feel that you're right. The women roster is pretty thin. Being an AOA, and honestly, to the point where I'm personally thinking about maybe disbanding the women's division and try to maybe on the outside, maybe kind of build it up a bit and then have it come back stronger. I would probably maybe breaking down and probably honestly cut off, the women's division until, maybe the following year. Because honestly, the first half, because Breaking Boundaries is while one of our biggest shows in AOA history, is the first half of the year for the women hasn't really been all that good. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, we've had some pretty solid matches between the women that we do have.
She's been holding it down. She had been holding it down all up until recently.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I feel that. I do feel like the women's division is pretty thin. So what I may do, I may just cut off the women's division until maybe bring them back going into the second calendar year of AOA. Stronger, better. We're gonna have more people, more of these women here. And some of them are gonna be kind of upset about it because some may have wanted a shot.
Lita.
Maybe have had a shot before, but when they're fully able to capitalize, like Akira, for instance.
Oh yeah, Akira. I figured Lita might be next. She was saying to Trish, "Hey man, you're not going to be able to go out there and win without my backup." And
that's right.
And then that proved to be right. So to me that was just like maybe Lita might be up next, but I completely understand the rationale. I mean, it's a thin roster. It's like WWE back in '95. They had Bertha Faye and Alondra Blaze. And it's just like, so much for that. It's only so far you can go with this. So it makes sense.
So I think I probably might just cut it off at some point. Probably. Yeah, and I'm thinking about probably Breaking Boundaries maybe the last women's championship match that we will have at least for that calendar year. So that way, whenever we can bring them back, we can bring them back stronger and better. We got more people, probably a little bit more focus put on them and things of that nature. Because I feel that honestly, women's division is probably one of the weaker ones, that AOA has. And honestly, it shouldn't be, especially given the talent that you could potentially have and the talent that we already got. It really shouldn't be one of the weakest divisions, but unfortunately it is.
I like Angelina. I don't want
stagnation. Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I ain't mean to cut you off, man. I'd like to see, Angelina. I think she's got a future. She's a heck of a character, and she's very dynamic. She's definitely a threat to any women's roster. That's all I like to say.
I mean, just the constant strikes and just the bizarreness, that she has about her, just coming through, just coming through the crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just speaking everything. Now she's AOA Women's Champion. The question is like, is she beat Trish, who by all accounts have been beating some of the more better women there on this that's on the AOA roster, even though. Be real, it's not really saying much due to how thin the roster is. But you're right, Angelina is definitely a huge threat. The question is who's really going to stop her. Like you said, potentially Lita, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
You probably proved your point earlier about like how, since Trish wasn't really able to get the job done by herself, Lita should be the next person up in line.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's almost just wait and see at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, that's still a story to be told. And then we had Z Ice appear on the show, and he had Richie Rich and Jay Cash removed from the match. So they were going to have, for unsportsmanlike conduct. I particularly like that. I thought that was a great call.
Because I feel that like that person kind of reached a point where he dealt with a lot ever since the first time you saw him back at the Conquer on pay-per-view. So he is like gone through a lot. Getting he even got that infamous moment when they still beat him up in the backstage area. You know what I'm saying? And almost every week he has someone barging into his locker room and saying, "Oh, why did you do this?" Or "No, I'm not going to do this," or "No, I don't like this," and all that. So he got, and of course, while we're known as all that action, DI would like to have at least a little bit of order there, at least a little bit of order, a little bit of structure. And I think, with the previous episode, I think it was like the episode before Onslaught, I think that's kind of where DI draws the line of, okay, things are getting too crazy around here. I need to change something now. And you know what I'm saying? So I think it's reaching the point where he's not really taking a whole lot of crap from anyone. I think he's really going to start putting his foot down and making sure things get done that need to get done. Whether they, the talent that work there like it or not,
I got you.
Need auto parts? Shop O'Reilly Auto Parts. With convenient locations nationwide and well-trained professional parts people, you can count on O'Reilly to help you get back on the road fast.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What's up, bros? Brian Millman here with another edition of the New Millennium Podcast as we're on our way to the outskirts of the year, bro. September's behind us, October's gone, and now we're actually in November, bro. This is crazy and a perfect time to bring a guest who the West Coast completely forgot that they did a podcast about. The Killer, bro. Everybody was saying that The Killer was, all Hollywood now and that he didn't really, get down with people in XTV. He addresses that. He addresses a whole lot of things, and he really goes in depth, bro, in a very spectacular episode of the New Millennium Podcast right here on XTV East Coast, bros. Check it out. Justin's Podcast.
So what was that the next match after that? Was that the tag team match?
It was a tag team match. Richard and Jay Cash attacked Young Lee. I believe the match following that was the women's. It was either the women's. Yeah, I think it was the women's match that followed that. So that at least gave us enough time to go find suitable replacements, and out came Wolf back. Whatever. It was that time.
Gotcha.
It was that time, but he did. The attack happened early in the night. But then when Z.I.'s made the announcement, he had already found his replacement for Richie and J. Cash.
Yeah. The right call was made there. And then, one of the best matches of the night, to me, was Jason Wells versus Max Wolf. I thought that was a great contest.
Oh, yes. I personally agree. Because both of them, I was trying to test the waters here. The first time I had them go at it the first time they went at it, I was kind of testing the waters there, and maybe see, okay, well, let's have Wells beat Apollo. Let's have Wolf kind of get a victory over Finn Balor, especially with the history that the club and Wolf still kind of have now, especially after the victory that Wolf ended up getting. And the first time that they went at it, they tore the house down. And I'm thinking to myself, there should be a way, there got to be a way for them to get back in the ring and do it again. You know what I'm saying? But I decided to add a little bit of a twist on it and have, Wells did what he did at Next Level and kind of allying himself, with the club, And so that, to me, set up the match perfectly with with the guys being nice enough to give Wolf 2 weeks off, and for him to come back in a big way, attack well, attack style, and then he just been on a one-track mindset ever since. So of course, getting those two in the match, once again, they had a very solid match.
Absolutely, it was crazy, and right here again, Max Wolf may be aligning himself with the Tarletons. Just that the three are wearing that gear.
It's like one of those things to me. I think with Wolf, it's one of those things like whenever he first came in, you could kind of tell that, okay, this guy got some potential behind him.
Yes.
Maybe he's not going to be world champion material yet.
Not yet.
But you can tell just from looking at him, like, okay, this guy got the potential to do something great.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Man,
this guy definitely got the potential.
It's crazy, man, because we thought that he was a good match for Johnny Money. I mean, don't you think they got like a similar move set?
I would say so.
Very similar, even build.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying they even got the same like type of build.
True. I mean, they got the same type of build. They got the same type of build, but so I think a match with Wolf and Johnny Money got the potential to be really good. Or I would probably even say maybe Wolf and Tyrone Andres. That way, it kind of gives. I mean, Wolf is kind of taking on someone that's a bit bigger than him in stature. So it's almost like can Wolf either be aggressive enough to overwhelm Tyrone, or could he, maybe be quick enough to dodge? But then what will happen if Tyrone eventually gets his hands on Wolf?
Yes.
Wolf may potentially find himself in a rough time. So either a match with Money or Tyrone would definitely be something that would be.
I didn't think about that one with Tyrone, man. And it was like, even with putting Johnny Money with Tyrone, we thought Tyrone was just going to kill him. We did. Even with that face-off that went off, they went face-to-face on a couple of episodes back of NXT Live, and it was just like, when it came down to the point where it was a showdown between them, we were surprised that Jay Money actually was able to hold his own. It was like, this might be something.
I mean, he went out there and he did what he did his thing. He went out there and he did his thing. And I've noticed Johnny Money, and that dude definitely got some talent. He reminds me, honestly, speaking of another potential dream match, if you really think about it, jump from the mannerism alone, Johnny Money versus Jay Morgan, if you really think about it. Because both of those two guys, they're flashy, but they can go out there and do what they did. God. Yes, Johnny Money was in there with a big dude in Tyrone. That dude is built.
Yes.
But he went out there and held it on. Unfortunately, he didn't end up getting the victory, but he held it on.
Yep. But it's definitely definitely interesting moving forward. Looking at these guys. The full moon was actually hit twice. What you think that's all about? The second time.
True. I think by the time he hit it the second time, you said the thing to yourself, it's like, okay, this gotta be it. This have got to be it. And you also can kind of throw the question like, was it overkill? Was it overkill? Well, for them to get out of 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he had one more. He kind of after the match, but until then, it was like during the match, it was like you kind of questioned if it was overkill. The second time, it was okay. At least got the job done that time.
Well, it's no question. Who came out on top there. Up next, we had Frost 1-on-1 up against Wallace for the All-Star Championship. This match went on. I mean, this was like a heck of a match, and then for Frost to be on top, and really be killing him the way he did, even throwing him through that barricade. I thought that for sure he would just drag him in and finish him off after such a long match, and then he didn't even finish him off. He just went and started talking some trash, which he made some great points.
Well, I think about that point, by the time he was throwing him into the barricade, the match had already been
It was thrown out?
Thrown out due to the disqualification by
the low blow?
By Waller with the low blow. So by the time he kept throwing him into the barricade, the match had already been.
Okay.
See,
did the bell ring? Was there? There's no bell.
I didn't hear it. For some reason, I did not hear. A bell ring.
That's what threw me off. I was
I guess and say, okay, the match is probably thrown out at this point.
Okay.
So it's
okay.
So the match technically, so to clear everything up,
it was over.
Match technically finished with Wallace retaining the disqualification, hence the low blow.
Okay. And Tyrone goes over. I mean, not Tyrone. Frost.
Everything that took place after that low blow, the match was already over.
Then Frost starts dropping those pipe bombs, talking about how unfair things are at AOA, and he's not the only one that's been going through it, but people in NXTV. And he made a good point. He said that at the beginning of Dallas, King Kong was guaranteed a title shot, and it's like it gives these guys something to gripe about, And then, man, I gotta tell you, man, we was in awe, when we saw King Kong appear on AOA television. It was just like, oh my God, and he was beaten down on Destry. We had an idea that maybe he might show up, but man, when we saw it, it was like, oh my God, this is actually happening.
I had a feeling it was going to be, a great moment to see, because it's like, because for AOA, this is really, it's almost like, it was almost a case of like really kind of shot fire, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because you had what happened at NXT Dallas. You had what happened at NXT Dallas with the official alliance, so of course it's like, you now have to, so it's like, okay, so how do you follow up? And my thing was like, okay, so how do you follow up on that? And so you had Frog get disqualified. You have him go crazy and kill Waller. Right. And then now it's like, all right, let's have King Kong show up. Because it would be kind of weird to have Fraud and Shield on the same show, but King Kong, the leader who kind of helped form this whole thing, not show up. And I felt that they had to really show up and make an impact and make a name for themselves. Because maybe there are some people that probably didn't see Dallas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there are potentially people who didn't see Dallas. So
right.
That was a good way to really kind of get the LNW over as like this powerful, not, the guy you want to be messing with type of dude.
It's go ahead.
Zach, I'm going to ask you, if I may ask you.
Yes.
What does NWN stand for?
It's the New World Nation. It's the New World Nation. Let me give you the scoop on the NWN. Okay. Originally, these guys were around in 1997. They were formed because they are like this you got to go there with me now, JNW. These guys are from 1997. Okay, NXTV. Okay. People come in from the past, all kinds of people. It's just there's a time machine in XTV, and they're from 1997, and they are here, and they hate what this time period. They think everything is stupid, But what happened was the time machine had broke, and they got stuck here. They can't go back. And the original, So what happened was the original leader of the NWN was named A Man. He got so fed up because he thinks everything is so stupid that he left the NWN, which left King Kong being the leader. And so ever since that point, that's like way back at there's a pay-per-view where this happened at it's called WWE versus XTV. That's on the XTV East Coast channel, one of our first pay-per-views where you could document that, but. Ever since then, King Kong's been on the search for new members of the NWN, which is what basically led to Dallas.
Okay.
So
I guess his search continued, or his search was kind of over by the time he got to NXT Dallas.
Yeah, he had done made his mind up. He had chose these new guys, and like now he's revolutionized what the NWN is. Like it's like now that he's got Shields and Frost. It's a completely different thing from what it was. And, kind of the concept... Yeah, like the concept
Because now you
behind.
got these more
I was gonna say
guys,
the
to form this group with.
huh? Say it again.
It's, and like, 'cause now you got these younger and hungrier guys,
Yeah.
that you can really form a group of and really
Yeah.
take this into the next level.
Yeah, because King Kong, he's a youngster himself. He's from that time period, but he's the same age that he would be and all. You know what I mean? They're all young.
Right.
It's him and Baby are actually the ones. That's you know the girl Baby, right? She his like
Yeah.
little sidekick.
Yeah.
She's it's them two. It's him, A-Man, and Baby. Them three came from the time machine. But A-Man left, and then so it's just Baby and King Kong left for the NWN, and they needed to fill it out more. And of course now they got Malia, who they kind of like just forcing to be a member. She's not really she's not really a evil-hearted character. She's just there because they force her to do different things. And we got plans
Are they
for
holding
her.
something over her head or something, or?
They just, I don't even know. I mean, just like one time they just chose, it was guys from the West Coast. It was a guy named Flamingo and his partner Too Hot, who are members of the West Coast version of the NWN. It's like a big old gang. I don't want to tell you too much, but yeah, it's like they got this side and they all together, and that's when they had won the tag team, the NXT tag team titles, and they went to the West Coast. That was those guys, and those two guys had just held Malia hostage and just grabbed her and made her be their manager. And one of the things that a lot of the heels try to do on the West Coast is they try to get like baby faces and put them in that corner so that they can, they try to get baby faces and put them in that corner so that they can like do mischievous things like distract the ref or pull the ref's legs. But we was always under the impression that the baby faces would never do that. They would just cheer on people, and they never did that. And then when Malia,
like their strong will would like prevent them from doing harm.
We just thought that because they were set as baby faces that they didn't do that. But, only heels did that. And Malia was a baby face, and she had actually pulled the referee's leg from under the rope when Sketch tried to pin Flamingo in a tag team title match, and she actually caused B-Boy and Sketch to lose the tag team title. So that's how she ended up with the NWN. But she's kind of.
That's an interesting backstory, because I remember I've been watching XTV, and I've been hearing talk about the NWN and stuff like that, and I never really knew what it stood for, because I probably would have honestly I would have stated it on commentary.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
I was saying it as you was. I remember Frost was cutting this promo, and he was like, "Yeah, the NWN," and I was like, "I'm saying New World Nation." But he can't hear me.
What NW? And I didn't want to take a guess.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to take a guess and it'd be completely wrong. You know what I'm saying?
It's the combination of New World Order and Nation of Domination.
New World Nation.
Yeah, it's New World Nation.
World Nation. Makes sense. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, that's the whole backstory on the NWN. But man, I mean, crazy stuff. Like, I want to talk about Jay Morgan versus Reaper, because this was a crazy match. I'm talking about, man, hardcore stuff. Man, and then like I really love that effect that you did with the blood. Was that an effect, or was he really bleeding that bad?
I think I gotta say, honestly, it was. I wanted to give all to, and I'm guessing I did my job since you're asking me this question.
Okay.
I feel I did a good job at making it look like Morgan got obliterated.
He did.
Because like how the blood of the game guard like default, it just stops at the smearing of the head.
Yes.
I said, no, let's take this a little bit further, and I got a little bit of inspiration from this from watching something that Forever Movement did with one of their older matches. Right there, one of the matches that barely had, they got a little bit of inspiration from that. I said, okay, let me try to do it. So, you had the spot where Reaper hits Morgan off the apron with the ladder, and then you had the whole thing of Reaper taunting and the blackout, and Black hits the blackout. Unfortunately, y'all couldn't see the move because of the visual skippage, and I apologize for that. I really did like when that happened. But yeah, that was an effect.
Okay.
Took one of the in-game designs and like stretched it,
Okay.
like moved it and stretched it and things of that nature, and switched it to the same color as as the blood and whatnot. So
That's spot on right there. That's crazy that you can get the color like that.
The fact that it actually worked was something I was personally happy of.
Oh my God! I was pointing to my friend Trunks. I was just like, man, do you see how bad he's busted open? Like, how come that never happens when we play the game?
Yeah, that was in fact, I took like one of the it was like one of the random designs. I can't remember the design it was, but like I took one of the random designs and like put it on his torso and like stretched it and raised it that way it's kind of like underneath his chin, and I like stretched it about as far as I can get it.
Yeah.
And then tried to use the color, change it to color, change it to like darker gray, and use the opacity to kind of lower it, to kind of make it a little bit less hard, visible, like extremely visible.
I got you.
So yeah,
that's good stuff, man. Good stuff, man. Some great spots in there, man. Trunks was actually like he was impressed with like what with a lot of spots in this match. Especially when the guy got a brain buster. There was a brain buster onto the ladder. I think that happened like twice.
That was sick. I will go over the brain, but I did not expect for the brain buster to connect on the ladder itself. Like I thought, but especially for the camera angle of how the move was looking, I thought maybe the ladder would have been slightly off or something like that. But the fact that it caught his dead on, I'm like, yeah, that just made everything perfect. You know what I'm saying? It really helped highlight everything, highlight the brutality of that match.
Yeah. I mean, this thing just went on, man. I almost started chanting "Fight Forever."
Morgan, he held his own though. I mean, he had a couple of whole spots in there.
Yeah, he held his own. And like he really got over with me at this show. Like, but he's had matches like that before. Yeah, like just like, oh my God, like how did you survive that type of stuff? And he did it again here. That's why when you said him versus J Money, I'm like, yeah, because those guys that's like they really overcome some like tremendous odds.
Sure. Just that. I mean, I thought Money he would get like absolutely whooped on by Tyrone Andre. Then back in the modern day classic pay-per-view, forgive me because I can't remember exactly who he.
Oh, he fought Kevon. Yeah, Kevon.
Kevon was his name. Yeah, he was really getting. He was really kind of getting more fair. I think.
Yeah, he pissed Kevon off at one point when he slapped him.
Yeah. It was great, man. The fact that Morgan came out with the win, with the Reaper trying to go that extra mile to hurt him, and actually, if you really think about it, yeah, Reaper going the extra miles to try to hurt Morgan, really kind of, it didn't pay off again. Because, he ended up getting hit with the cashing out. That was the finisher that Morgan had, and hit the back of his head and neck, hit the ladder. I'm like, yeah, you got to call it around that.
Yeah.
If I could, Reaper could easily bounce back and recover from that. So, and Morgan kind of needed a win because he was suffering, he was suffering a bit over the past couple of months with his losses to Kazari and things like that.
Yeah, I've been seeing Reaper. Reaper is a killer. Monster is a killer, and we haven't seen Demon ever since. Was that Next Level?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've been waiting to see Demon, but I know he's coming.
He's coming. He's coming.
I know
when he comes back, Reaper better always sleep with one eye open, if possible sleep with two, because it's not going to be a pretty sight whenever Demon comes back.
Yeah.
Reaper's going to be in trouble.
And then of course we went to Nate Shields beating up Destry, and then he sets up Monster, which I thought was a brilliant plan. For Monster to make his return and then, show up on the last night of the 24/7 rule and, become the AOA champion. We talked a bit about that earlier. And then, of course, finally, the main event, the United States Championship, A2J, one-on-one up against Johnny Rivers. Stole the show. I got that written in my notes. I mean, my God, what a match! But I expected that. Johnny Rivers, man, I be chanting, I be going, Johnny Rivers. Every time he do stuff, I be doing that over here. I'm a fan of Johnny Rivers, but I like A2J as well. Man, talk about this matchup.
That I think, to me, I'm gonna be honest with you and say that those two, they went out there and I would not, for sure, I would not joke it when G.I. came out there and he said that was one of the best matches in AOA history. I got to definitely agree for sure. That was an incredible matchup because I felt like I had a feeling going into Onslaught, because I knew they wanted to have, I knew they were going to have, especially after the high praise that match was getting. I mean, from the crew at XTV saying that was, that was a 5-star classic, and from the other people who watched it that said, River versus A2J was the match of the night. I'm like, how can we follow up?
Yes.
How can we follow up, man? One of my friends was suggesting an Ironman match, but he was suggesting like 10 to 15. I'm like, screw this, let's go the whole 30.
That's right, you got to.
And they went the whole 30, and my God, they scored house. I think it was perfect.
Yeah.
With the main event, and the fact that
it was perfect.
That the fact that Matt ended up having to go in the last couple of seconds, River hit that super kick, bam, and it just collapsed. And couldn't make the cover in time, which led to the extra 7 minutes of sudden death, where you even got, was there even more tense moments of like, oh snap.
Right.
It was back and forth.
Yes, I thought that the closing moments of the matchup was just like so intense, man. And I was just like on the edge of my seat looking at. I was like, man, what's gonna happen here? I think it had got tied up, and then time had ran out. They had to go into sudden death, and it was on, man. It was huge.
And honestly, there may be a potential for one last match between these two. Probably at there's a potential that somewhere down the line, especially with how good that match was, somewhere down the line, I'm feeling I potentially may do a Johnny Rivers with A2J 3 one last time. It would be hard to top this Ironman match.
It would.
But there's a potential for a River with A2J 3. Potential.
Yeah.
Ironman, not denying there's a potential.
Oh yeah, with guys like this, I put in my notes. I got two utility guys. Two guys that ring mechanics. You put them in the ring with anybody, and they can have a great matchup. But when you put them in there with each other, I mean, it's gonna be 5 stars. It's gonna be off the charts. It's designed that way.
And can I be honest with you? Whenever I first, decided to match these two up at next level, I did not. I thought it was going to be a decent.
Yeah. I can tell that.
It would be like your solid mid-card match. Just solid.
Yeah.
But by the end of their match at next level, I'm like, whoa.
Yes.
The fact that this match went as well as it did, and the fact that everybody else watching that show agreed that it went as well as it did was really kind of got my wheel spinning for, what something else I can do with it.
Yeah, it's always.
Now the question is, where do they go from here?
Yeah, it's interesting, because that match was so good. Who went over in that match?
It ended up being Rivers.
It was Rivers?
It ended up being Johnny Rivers. Johnny Rivers ended up picking up the victory in that match. But if you really think about it, Rivers winning that match actually wasn't a bad thing. Because if you think about it, A2J has been having, kind of down on his luck, trying to really find himself ever since his loss to Rivers. And Austin Aries, who was kind of his protege, and kind of been having the whole mindset and mentality of like, AJ haven't been able to get it done ever since the match at next level. It seemed like AJ haven't really been able to get it done when everything counts. So it's like, now does it feel like Austin Aries had wasted his time with helping A2J? You know, do you feel like he's wasting his time if he's sitting there with someone who can't even get the job done?
Well, that's interesting, man. Like I said, man, a crazy card. Then of course, Z Ice would come out, commending everybody and talking about what a great night it was. History was made. I think we saw like three title changes. Is that right? Is that correct?
3.
No,
World,
4.
Well, yeah. World title technically.
Like, did they all change hands?
3. No, 3 of them. 3 of them. Because Waller retained via disqualification.
Oh, that's right. Yep, he did.
And hold on. Well, yeah, and River retained this title. So yeah, 3 titles.
Yeah.
And those being the women's title and the tag team title.
That creates
and the world title.
That creates a heck of a shift in AOA. And then, of course, we go off the air with King Kong interrupting. He's out there talking his trash. And I thought that was going to be the be-all, end-all. The NWN coming, making a statement and saying, they taking over. But wait, out of nowhere, here comes Dave. Who is Dave? And, man, that dude is a monster.
Dave,
he made.
He's been around before. Last time he was on Aliens, it was like the episode. I think it was a week or 2 before Last Dance. So it's been a minute since we've seen him. But Dave has always kind of been that. I guess really that silent warrior. Like he's there whenever he needs to be. If he isn't, then he isn't. But he's there when he needs to be. And it's like, and in this case, you can tell Dave kind of had the mindset of, okay, you're not gonna come up in here in the house that myself and the other AOA superstars have made and threaten to do something to the person that made all this possible in the first place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
of course.
This case is like, you really want to come up in our house and do that?
Right.
Good luck. That really, and I feel that moment worked. I feel that was a great moment for Dave, for people who remember Dave, for them to see, like, oh crap, Dave is actually back.
Right.
And then I think it kind of worked that, that things didn't get physical. You know what I'm saying? It kind of showed that, the AOA, we're gonna fight, for what we believe in. We're gonna fight for what we stand for. And I think it was kind of, if you really think about it, kind of smart they King Kong kind of backed out of the ring, because it's like, we came here, we made our point.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I love that. I love the fact that nobody touched, nothing got physical, and at the very end of the show, it's just left with that image as you signing off, and you got the split screen. There's Dave, there's King Kong. What's going to happen next? Tune in next week. It's beautiful.
And now we'll look at the archives from Justin's podcast, episode 25, Jordan and Kareem Strong.
I could have been so much more vocal. And, it's just like, I don't know, it's just like so easy to get misunderstood and stuff.
Where you felt like you was misunderstood?
Like when I fought in the best of 7 with Naomi. And then it was just like, like with the ladder and everything. It's like, why put the ladder there if, it's not going to be used as a weapon? You know what I mean? It was like, I'm going to mix it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you struck blood. You hit her with the ladder. That pissed her off.
I mean, it's just stuff like that. Like, it's like, hit me back with the ladder then. Like, don't complain about it or don't make me out to be, like, fucked up, It's like, it's not even like that. It's just like, this is the match that we're in. And, that's how it is. Like, this is what we signed up for. We signed up to be in a ladder match. We've been having classics, and it's not like I'm holding a grudge, y'all don't think that. It's just like, that's just how it is. People think that way, and I'm just letting it be known that, if they put me in a matchup, where not only like mentally, I'm fighting against the ladder and her. So I'm going to take her out, and I'm going to get the prize on top.
That was a look at the archives from Justin's podcast. Feel free to check out all of XTV East Coast content. Remember to leave a comment and subscribe. Welcome to XTV World.
Hi, Tom Bodette. Motel 6's new improved website lets you book a room and save more for what you travel for faster than ever. Even faster than you can find your keys, which you swore were right on the little hooky thing by the garage door where they always are, and we can land a robot on a comet, but we can't keep keys from disappearing. Oh, here they are. Left them in my jacket. Don't you hate that? I'm Tom Bodette for the new improved Motel6.com, and we'll leave the light on for you.
I think it's awesome, man.
Absolutely. And honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, in the week, I'm actually surprised that Onslaught turned out as good of a show as it is, as it has been.
Yeah.
Because during the weeks leading up to it, I was struggling to figure out what I was going to do going into Onslaught, knowing that AOA Breaking Boundaries, one of the biggest pay-per-views that AOA is going to have, is right after that. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what can I do to really kind of make this show something good, something to remember. And from the match card, honestly, with the exception of the Iron Man match and maybe the Women's Championship match and potentially Wells versus Matt, this was looking like it was going to be a decent to average to potentially, honestly, I'll say probably potentially below average show. Yes, the Iron Man match and probably Wolf versus Wells would have saved it, but this was looking like a average to below average show. And of course, me personally, I'm not trying to put on a show like that. I'm trying to put on the average show. The fact that it turned out how it did and people enjoyed it, it was great.
Yeah, it was, man.
And now we got pushing back. Push it on.
I assume that that Breaking Boundaries, you got big plans for it.
I think I'm going to try to make this probably one of my better shows, Breaking Boundaries, one of the better shows. Honestly, it's going to be hard to top some of these top some of these previous pay-per-views, especially the likes of Next Level and also I was very good. So I think the pressure is really on to take Breaking Boundaries and to push it just over the edge to be something extraordinary. I think it may be a challenge, but I think it's something that's fine. So
yeah,
I'm also, I haven't really started to work on the next episode yet because I'm honestly kind of starting to see, how things follow up on the side of NXTV with what happened at Onslaught. So I'm really kind of trying to wait and see what happens from there. That way I kind of know how to build and work from there.
Right. I got you on that. NXTV is actually on a small, tiny hiatus because we was trying to work in that NXTV Tag Team Women's Tournament. That's a very important step before getting into the next episode. But whether or not that tournament goes down or if it go down how we wanted to or whatever, NXTV Live will be returning next week. And that's when everything gets started. A lot of thought been going into that episode. And of course, we preparing for 2K18. So this last stretch is very important and it's very significant in how the transition leads into 2K18. And will everybody be ready? You know what I mean? So it's all about time. You know what I mean? Like you got to be able to. And you know all about it. I saw your video where you was updating everybody about how you gonna lead into 2K18. And it's like, it takes time. Us personally, throughout the week we spend a whole lot of time, working, and then, on the weekends, we able to dedicate time to XTV. So, it's all.
I'm going to get other, videos and things done as well,
Yeah.
That's all I can do. And so I guess I have a question though. When your iron sharpens iron, sometimes this month, if I'm correct.
Yep, yeah, it is this month. You're right. It's like in a couple of weeks, I think.
Is that? Yeah. The 19th? November 19th?
17th? It's on a Saturday. I think it's the 17th or the 19th.
Okay. Yeah, like, is that going to be your final show for 2K? 17, of course, aside from the one thing to do.
Well, yeah. No, the plan for Iron Sharpens Iron, the original plan was for Iron Sharpens Iron to annually be the first pay-per-view of the new 2K game.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
And that was gonna be the gimmick for the idea for like the annual, show.
So I guess the final show will be. Oh wait, I don't know what the bring it up means.
You can talk about it because I got it in my notes. If you want to talk about it, you can.
All right, boy. Your podcast. I guess
I'm completely open to it.
But you probably get where I'm getting at.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going. I got it in my notes. I wasn't sure if you wanted to talk about it, but if you want to, let's go in.
Fine by me.
All right, because what JNW is alluding to, ladies and gentlemen, is of course we got Iron Sharpens Iron, and after that a pay-per-view entitled Worlds Collide. It's scheduled to take place between AOA and NXTV, where we're going to see some dream matches, and potentially there's just been talks. We never know how these things going to turn out, but there's been talks about maybe a six-man match with the NWN taking on members that Big Trap choose that they haven't been chosen. Some guys from couple guys from AOA, and personally, JNW, when I saw Onslaught and when I saw Dave come out, I thought that he was definitely a prime choice for Big Trap.
Definitely, yeah. I think it's definitely a prime choice. And I think honestly, God, I was saying I've been thinking about this for a minute, so I think maybe Dave would definitely be a prime choice about someone who can definitely be used. And then you also have Destry, but then again, also you can have maybe the tag champions get involved, or maybe you can have some other AOA faithfuls like Mac Wolf and a couple of other people. So I think honestly, it really just it's something that's I'm still trying to think about. Something that's something there. Maybe choices may change depending on what happens. During the NXT and AOA episodes in between there, but definitely be someone that I would be someone I would be thinking about using
because
in that
well,
great, of course. And of course I'm excited just for the whole concept of the World Collide pay-per-view, the fact that we'll have these two shows coming together, And now you got a little. Now with the whole name of the New World Nation, that I know they call it that, you actually have something that people can kind of look forward to.
Yes.
NXT and AOA come together trying to take down this faction, but outside of that, you still got a good idea for potential dream matches, and the fact that we may try to figure out a way to get this on both channels, that way everybody can see it. You know what I'm saying? That way fans of both fans of both shows can watch it. And, try to find a way to get it up on both channels and see what happens. Hopefully, I'm really
Oh yeah, I mean, so am I, man. I mean, everything is buzzing, and NXTV is just a baby. It's only been around for probably about 6 months at this point. And but we had ideas for NXTV a whole year ago, because before we even brought the PS4, we were like, on 2K18, we want to have a universe mode, and we want to create a brand new brand, because XTV's been going on for a long time. XTV is the main brand, but NXTV, we figured that we could have just like WWE, a feeder system, because it used to be in XTV. Like when we would bring in a new guy, like we would have our Bob Classics, people like Killer, Big Trunks, it's like a list of guys that's just always, they always there. And then, it's like we try to bring in a new guy and match them up against the old guys, and the old guys always outshine the new guys. So NXTV was get the idea to give a platform to not only brand new talent, but talent, who's downloaded, people from all around the world, a lot like, your AOA guys, and also even like people that was on, on the lower totem pole that wasn't getting that main push, that main event push. King Kong would never be in this situation. He's like the lead heel, now for NXTV, and he would have never been in that situation if it wasn't for NXTV, which is really, Miss Martha's brainchild, and she's about to be on her way out the door for full disclosure. Yeah, of course, Terry Williams is prepped up to be next commissioner. I mean, even the West Coast says so, and
I'm happy for Terry about that. That's great.
Yep. NXTV, we got like every 2 years there's a new commissioner, and it's every year we vote on every year, or it's really like whoever the most popular, really, like who we, if somebody say they in the runners to be commissioner, and then if they got a good track record, then we get together and we say, hey, that's the guy. If everybody agrees, then it's like, okay, that's the guy. And that's pretty much how sense. Yeah, that's how Terry ended up in the situation, and
that's great.
Yeah,
that's great for him.
Yeah.
And by the way, him and Corbin, like I gotta say this. Well, couple things. It's funny that you bring up, how you have, NXT has like your proving ground, your place how where the people who don't really get like their main, that main push, that main shine can go. It's a good platform for them. And again, I'm going to go ahead and say this now. Going into the second calendar year of AOA, we're going to start a revolution. What am I talking about? AOA is going to split into 2 different shows. Ooh. All Out Action and All Out Revolution. So we're going to kind of split the roster. Because, I'm being honest, there are so many guys that got the potential to be great.
Yes.
But the problem is they're kind of like what you were saying with NXT, how they're kind of outshined by all of these other superstars. So I think the idea of splitting them into a second brand would be, and I probably might find someone that would try to kind of take charge and help me put that show together. I got no problem. I would have no problem recording and editing it. I would just need someone to help me with the with maybe the booking, the planning, and things like that.
Okay.
So probably going into the second year after. Hopefully the plan, for what we're going to do going forward. Well, anyway, we'll do going forward.
No, that sounds like a heck of an idea. Make me wonder, how deep is the AOA roster?
It is quite deep. There are some guys who you maybe only saw probably maybe once or twice, but there are some guys that you don't really see often. Like Richard and J. Cat, they've been a part of the AOA roster for a while, but you haven't really saw that, you didn't really see that much. In fact, I can think of a current tag team, Ryan and Jackson Stevens. There are current tag teams in AOA, but you don't really see them often. There's one guy in particular who, honestly, I wish I would have given a good chance to. That would be Brandon Thorne.
Brandon Thorne,
great moveset, a talented dude, a very talented athlete, but he just hasn't really had a chance to get that shine going for him. So I think. And Andre and guys like that.
I think this is my first time seeing Andre. Yeah, I mean, maybe I didn't really remember Richardson. Of course I got my favorites, and Frost. I took one look at Frost the first time I saw any AOA episode, and I was looking at him. I said, man, he would be. We still trying to figure out a way, because now he with the NWNs, and Tyrone is. I don't even know if Tyrone Andre is a heel, but we just trying to figure out if we can get them to face down the road some way. Because, man, look at those two, juggernauts. Like, just
those
two solid dudes.
Those are some behemoths right there.
Yeah. I mean, and, I just think that'll be a crazy situation. So, we want to figure out a way to get Tyrone and him to cross paths. But it's a lot of space in between because of course Tyrone just becoming the All-American champion. So where does you got to wonder where does he go from there? And it's just crazy, man. Like even with J Money, I mean, just the way things turned out. Like Dallas was a real turnaround show. I felt like, me personally, even going into Dallas and even looking at because Tyrone Andre was supposed to be a heel. He got Carmen out there cheating for him and everything, but the crowd always cheer for him. We got it set on heel, and he's getting cheers.
He's still getting cheered. I'm sitting there listening. I'm like, I was watching the show. I'm sitting there listening to myself like,
yeah.
And he's supposed to be a heel. Like, am I going crazy? Did I miss something?
I'm telling you the truth. It's crazy. It's and even with Justin Jr. Like Justin Jr. was a heel, clearly a heel, and he like after this show, I feel like after the win over KO, and I just feel like he's becoming more of a babyface now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because he's become. I feel that way because it's like he's backing up what he's saying. He ain't backing down. He's taking these challenges and he's winning. I mean, and he having great matches too. But that's just my opinion.
Remember, Kevin Owens was quite good. I was sitting there thinking to myself, whenever that match started the show, and I'm sitting there, and I guess it's my personal bias, because I haven't really seen a bad show of NXT. This is maybe my personal bias, but I'm like, wow. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, wow, I'm surprised that they booked this match first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised they actually went out and booked that match at the first on the card.
Yeah. Trump said the same thing.
Kind of questionable because everybody didn't.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I get it. But you know what though? You know what the mindset behind that was? It's like we wanted to start off hot. We wanted to start off with something that you was familiar with. Something that's been in the storyline, and then let's get this show on the road. We didn't want to start it. Yeah, we didn't want to start it off because we was gonna bring in Pentagon, but we kind of wanted to save him because he was a return for XTV. He was he left like a few months ago, just because he got lost in the rotation, taking up space, so he got gone. But he came back, and that's why we had him and Starboy. A little bit of a gimmick match, the end went on a little bit long, I'll admit. But it's fun. Starboy's a fun character. We still figuring him out. But
I think that's the thing about XTV that I've noticed I've actually kind of liked, and I'm trying to think about ways I can improve it anyway. The comedy, there's the comedy aspect. That because the thing with Starboy and Pentagon, that was funny. Okay?
Yeah.
The dance off, and you had the screen effects and the music.
Yeah.
That was funny. I was sitting there looking at Pentagon like, Pentagon ain't like this. He's about to break his arm in about 5 seconds, and that would have been funny. But the fact you have Pentagon go along with it, was still have to look like. And then the way Corcoran was like, we're going to have to go to a commercial break. Please share with us, guys. Please.
Yeah, please.
We're going to go to a commercial break.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, man. And then, so that's just what it was. And then, we know we had like 3 different title matches. Four of the matches were promoted. That was the Justin Jr. match was promoted. So, we just kind of wanted to get it started hot. And then we just went from there to Starboy and Pentagon, which wasn't. Then we went to J Money and Tyrone. Because we didn't want to make that the first match because J Money and Kevon was the first match, the All-American title. That started off Modern Day Classic, so we kind of wanted to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, do a little bit something different.
Yeah.
A little bit something different. I do have a question about the whole thing with XTV. Like you had, and this is kind of going back to what happened at Modern Day Classic. I may be forgetting something, so if I am, I apologize.
That's fine.
You had the vacancy of the NXT Tag Team title.
Yes.
And so you had the team of Kareem Strong.
Yes.
And Bray Wyatt.
Yes.
I didn't really see that go anywhere past
right.
that. Unless
you're right.
No,
you didn't. You didn't miss nothing. We hate. Yeah. See what happened was. I'm gonna tell you about that situation.
If you don't mind me asking.
No, it's completely fine because you're right. You know, it didn't continue, and it was because of the fact that was not supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what?
Yes, and that's like I don't remember how Gorgon and Terry have reacted to that, but like. Yeah, like that was not supposed to happen. We were building on Kareem being a part of the Wyatts. We were trying to set in, the new Wyatts.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember the vignettes and stuff.
Yeah,
Going
yes, and then Kareem
kind of ominous promos.
Yes, and Kareem decides, that he don't want to, he don't like the gimmick, so he want to just he just messed up the whole storyline, and that's why you ain't seen Kareem since then. If you notice, he has not been on NXT, and it's and then it's because it's just hard to book Kareem. He's been. I'm gonna tell you, Kareem has been around since he started and when we did SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. That was his debut year, and he had a good year. You know what I'm saying? He was a hot young rookie. He did his thing, but he just never really was able to connect. And then at one point he joined the NWN. He played the Buff Bagwell sort of role. I'm Kareem, I'm the Dream, and you know what I mean? Something. It was corny though. It didn't get over.
Except unlike Buff, I'm pretty sure Kareem can actually wrestle. But anyway, just saying.
Yeah, Kareem. Yeah, he got that kickboxing background, and he's a mixed martial artist himself. But it's Kareem just he never connected, and we was trying to put him with Bray Wyatt, so he can have something to that he can sink his teeth into. But at Modern Day Classic, he messed the whole thing up, and we was just forget about it. You know what? You ain't gonna be on TV. That's the poor shoot.
Yeah, because I thought it was actually kind of going somewhere. But then I saw.
That's
upsetting.
upsetting.
I guess I can see what you're talking about because I saw Kareem in the tag and Bray Wyatt stuff like that. I'm like.
Yeah, and that's why he was the one that was chosen to go ahead, and we put him on what was that the Fresh Start show. We was going start something with him right there, so that he don't have to be on wrestling, that we could just tell his story and try to get him over that way. But I think go ahead.
I think so far, oh God, hey, I gotta say that is a very interesting take on, the whole my career experience. I legit have not seen anyone really take that style of approach. Because people, and myself included, typically go with the regular, here approach.
Right.
But the fact you're able to take something like that and put so much time, so much effort into it and produce what you did and found a way to tie it back into his NXT days is really showing the creative mind, and definitely I think once that thing starts picking back up again.
Yes.
Well, I watched the last podcast and why it was cut off.
Right.
But so once that thing really picks back up again, and y'all really can run with it. If he gets over enough, I think that's a perfect time. That could be a great time for him for y'all to bring him back in and maybe try a face run with him and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, but but a lot of people just don't like Kareem. He rubbed people the wrong way, and I like Kareem. I'm a fan of Kareem. I think he's great, but he just rubbed people the wrong way. He's very confident, and people misunderstand that. He's had a whole lot of run-ins with a guy named the Killer over here. They go back and forth, and JNW. That's a perfect example of what I mean when I say Killer, who's probably the biggest guy on the West Coast. He probably is. He's like they John Cena, they Hulk Hogan. He's the man. And then Kareem here on the East Coast, a smaller guy. Only been around since 2010, and that's the perfect example of being outshined by a veteran. Which is why he was on NXT. So it's an experiment. And, that's kind of what NXT is about. Just taking characters and seeing if we can get them over. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest goal in NXT is getting guys over. See if we can get people to actually care about the characters and if you see them on another show, go, oh snap, look who it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you see
I know there are some guys you've had relatively good success with personally my personal fan, I enjoy Sketch.
Really?
I actually really enjoy Sketch. Now,
Wow.
I think I may have a bias towards like his theme song, but other than that, I really
I got
enjoy
you.
watching Sketch.
Yeah.
And David B-Boy, just how they do the thing and how Sketch kind of comes across that. It's a happy-go-lucky dude, but that fast he got no problem, doing something crazy to take you out.
That's the truth. Yeah, that's B-Boy. Yeah. Well, that's cool that you say that, man. I think it was mentioned on NXT TV. It was like, Sketch was never, well, not never, but he, coming in, he was just meant to be B-Boy's tag team partner. B-Boy is a guy who's been around, for some time. He probably been around since 06. We actually made him on SmackDown versus Raw. Here Comes the Pain.
Wow.
Yeah, we tried to make it goes back, man, because we tried to make a alternative to XTV back then. It was actually called GXT, but it didn't last long. We only got 2 stars out of it that's still around today. That's David B-Boy and Chris Major. But so yeah, and then Sketch is actually brand new. He came in this year fresh. B-Boy had B-Boy had mentioned him on Millennium's podcast, and he was telling them about how when we get the game, he gonna be coming in and they're gonna be a tag team. But nobody expected Sketch to become the NXTV heavyweight champion and continue to be the champ. And we like Sketch over here too. And I was just telling Trunks yesterday, I was like, yeah, at Dallas we was gonna screw over Sketch.
Yeah, he got
we was gonna screw him, dog.
I feel like,
man, we didn't want that to be too obvious. We didn't want to be. That's why we kept the belt on, and we was like, cause we was like, dang, I like Sketch, so we don't, I don't want to do it to him. But it was just like, it was like, cause remember, King Kong was booked to fight against Sketch in the main event, and the original plan was Nate Shields and Dwayne Frost cause some distraction, and they gonna screw over. They gonna cause Sketch to lose. They gonna outnumber them. And then, and King Kong get the belt on him, but we was like, nah, it's enough shock value that Dwayne Frost and Nate Shields actually show up.
Nate Shields there.
Yeah, so we don't have to take the belt off of Sketch.
We're taking the belt off Sketch.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like vice versa. You also didn't want to do all that to try to have Shields and Frost show up, try to cost him the belt, but then Sketch.
Yeah.
For a guy his size to outnumber all 3 of them, it's like then that kind of values the whole thing. So I think it was smart, taking it the route of, okay, let's have the match get thrown out and then let's use it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think Sketch, as I was about to say about Sketch, I could tell that dude got a perfect, really underdog, kind of like an underdog story. Even in his match with someone who's surprisingly a face in Big Trap.
Yes, exactly.
Someone who's surprisingly a face in Big Trap.
Man, did you feel that? Did you feel the same energy that I felt when Sketch was coming out? In that main event, it's like because Trap came out and then Sketch came out, and it's like, man, what an atmosphere right now! Like this is crazy. I was just
got that
wow.
Big fight feel whenever both of them came out and you just sitting there just watching.
Yeah.
And both of them made their way down the ring. It's like this is it. This is what we came here for. Yeah. Everybody gets popcorn. We in for a show.
Yeah, that's what it felt like, man. It was crazy, man. So it's just crazy that Sketch is actually leading the course as far as NXTV. It's interesting seeing where that's gonna go. Who is gonna be mentioned next as the number 1 contender for that NXTV championship? Just a whole lot of interesting things, man. I gotta say, man, this has been so fun sitting up here talking to you, JNW. We gotta do this again, man. Anything else you got on your mind?
I think personally, I'll personally say this. Well, first, if they're the way where I can get this podcast and have it up on my channel, that way anyone that wants to listen to it can.
Okay.
Would that be a problem at all?
Oh, hey, absolutely not, man. Actually, what I'm going to do is, after this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my open and close because I got to open and close to all my podcasts, and then I do a little bit of editing on the inside, and then I'm gonna export it. But if you want the raw file, I can just send it to your email.
I always to jazz it up, to edit your stuff up, and so then I'll put the that way I have a way where I can download a clip from YouTube. So what I'll do is I'll just download it, and then upload it and title it podcast with Justin Turkey Leg.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's me.
Plus, like, leave a link to the original channel that this came from. But I think personally, though, first off, thank you for having me on there.
Oh yeah, anytime.
Thank you so much for having me on there. It was very cool. I was really excited, to hear that, to simply see that, like, I was invited. I'm like, whoa, okay, cool. He's first actually, wanted me on there. Nice, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And just everything with AOA and XTV, and I think this is also a really great way to kind of bring both, a good catalyst, a good way to kind of bring both audiences together before we do it, for real when it comes to the World Collide event. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to see what XTV has to offer. For the AOA, we're going to try and do our best. We're going to try and do our thing over here. And it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to the future.
Absolutely, man. Where can everybody find you at on social media out there?
I honestly don't have my social media public. I really don't. But if by chance someone does want to reach out,
or if they want to check out AOA,
feel free to hit me up at JNW98@gmail.com on Gmail if you want to hit me up on Hangouts like we are here, or of course, look up my YouTube channel named JNW Ball on YouTube. And if you want to message me or whatever, feel free. I'm open to everybody, and I'm pleased talking to dudes. So.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, JNW, and like I told you earlier, I said, I typed in your name, just to see what you got going on, and I see your name pop up not just on your channel, man. And there's this one young guy, looked like he's from the UK that actually made a video putting you over, man, saying I can't remember I think it's Connor or something.
Connor
Young. That guy. Yeah, he was like, man, JNW is so cool, and he was right, man. You just a cool, chill guy. You like to have a good time. And the people love you, man. You do a great job on commentary. You make me laugh. I like when you go, nah, we ain't having that, bro. Or something like that. It's so cool that you do.
It's like that.
Nah, bro.
They're trying to do something. You're like, nah, we ain't having that.
Nah, we ain't having that, bro.
We ain't having that. Nope, not today.
So yeah, I mean, whether you got True Pain X or whether it's just you by yourself, it's always fun listening to your commentary. That's one of the best parts of AOA. And
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, man. I guess I'll talk to you next time we get here on Hangouts.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Yep.
All right, everybody. They give me to go home cue, but I gotta tell you, man, JNW Boss, one fun dude. I mean, I usually don't, make the podcast this long, but I had to, because this is the first time that we ever had anybody who was outside of XTV actually be on a podcast. So it's just a great time to be in XTV. Martha on her way out the door, Terry Williams on the way in, 2K18 on the horizon, Worlds Collide. What? It's a good time to be in XTV. Hey, man. Ernest Justin Turkey Leg, just reminding you guys that wherever you at, whatever you doing, make sure you enjoy it, because guess what? It's all these demons out here, and they don't want you to have fun. They always trying to find a way to get in your way. But you don't have to be submissive to that. It's your life. You do what you want to do. You call the shots. You live in the moment. And most importantly, have fun. All right, man. Until next time, who knows who my guest is going to be. I think I'm going to try to get Romy in here. He's supposed to be actually my next guest, but, he's just as busy as ever. But if I can get old 2 Rings up in here, I think that'll be a great follow-up to this. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, from the sunny state of Florida, as the clock has to be rolled back tonight, I'm Ernest Justin Turkey Leg again, signing off. Good night, everybody.